Farrik!
Hello and welcome to Dank Farrik, a Star Wars podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Carlos Gomez, and I'm here with the other host.
Tyler Mendelson.
And today, we're going to talk about The Bad Batch having its trailer released and the casting announcement for Obi-Wan Kenobi, the Disney Plus limited series.
Kenobi.
Yeah, that's the first thing that comes to mind is Sam Witwer going, Kenobi! Okay, so first of all, first thing that got announced was Kenobi. Let's hit it with Kenobi right away.
Yeah.
And I keep calling it Kenobi, even though I think the official title is Obi-Wan Kenobi. But because of Solo, I think I'm used to just saying like the last name.
Well,
Maybe.
for a while, I think it was only shown as Kenobi.
Well, it was untitled until maybe I don't know if it's still like official that the name of it is Obi-Wan. I think it is.
The official image released from Star Wars with the cast list shows it says Star Wars Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Oh, okay.
So I'm going to assume that is the official title.
Okay, yeah, perfect. We should, because it's in StarWars.com. So we get the announcement, and of course, we've known that Ewan McGregor has been back, or he was gonna be back for a while.
And Hayden Christensen,
who got announced during the Disney, whatever thing, call thing, and but now, to me, the big thing, and I know there's a bunch of actors in there that we should talk about.
Yeah.
But the takeaway that I have from it is Uncle Owen and Aunt Beru are back in business.
The same exact actors who played them in episode 2 and episode 3, which is Joel Edgerton and Bonnie Piesse.
Yeah.
It's just going to be interesting because, well, I know Joel Edgerton as an actor, and he's excellent.
Yeah, he's great.
So it's interesting that he was actually completely willing to come back. And, we haven't really, at least I haven't seen much of Bonnie in any other roles. So, but it's going to be interesting that they were basically like, they barely had any lines in their previous role for Star Wars. And now we're going to actually see them interact with Obi-Wan. And it's going to tie into episode 4 when, they're talking about Obi-Wan at the dinner table.
Yeah, that wizard. What is it? That
crazy old wizard.
Crazy old wizard. But I also, because when Attack of the Clones and Revenge of the Sith came out, like Joel Edgerton wasn't a big actor, but he is now.
Yeah.
At that time, he was just like an unknown, and he had a small part, and now like he's back reprising the role, and now he's a superstar.
What is like your iconic, or what film of his comes to mind when you think of him?
The first thing I thought about was Black Mass, which is this Boston gangster movie from the Whitey Bulger movie.
Yep. Yeah, with Johnny Depp, right?
Yeah, with Johnny Depp. I remember he was in that, and he was great in that. But I know he's been in a lot of the movie with Tom Hardy. Now we're talking about different movies.
Warrior,
the
that
boxing
was
movie.
Excellent.
That was amazing.
Excellent.
He was great,
Yep.
and you could feel they were brothers in that, and so
he was also in Gatsby, which was excellent.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yep, did a really good job in that.
Yeah, and so we know they are back. Kumail Nanjiani is in it, who we of course know from a lot of comedic roles.
Yeah,
but I know he's in an upcoming Marvel movie, so I guess he's now playing in this fantasy sandbox type thing.
If Seth Rogen can play serious, other people can too.
That's right. I feel like he could be a perfect guy to play. I mean, he could play anything, of course, but like the first thing I thought about was him maybe being like a droid or a CGI.
Yeah, like we don't know what any of these other characters are.
Yeah, but just given that he has such a comedic voice, the first thing I assumed was because they always do the thing with the droids being the comedic sidekicks, because they're not quite human.
I think that's a very good guess that he would play a droid.
Yeah, they did it similarly with how Taika Waititi is also like a really great comedic actor, and he played IG-11.
Yep.
Moses Ingram. Now, there was like a tweet or like an Instagram post rather, where she talked about the announcement.
Yeah.
I haven't seen her in anything.
Yeah, me either.
But she said something to the effect like, "I have a lightsaber," or something like that. So a lot of people are speculating that she might play
Inquisitor.
an Inquisitor or young, which would be sick. By the way, a Barry Offee from the Clone
Oh
Wars,
yeah.
that would be sick
Yep.
because that's like an unresolved thread.
Right.
But a lot of people are also speculating that maybe she could play Ahsoka in like Clone War flashbacks.
Does Dave Filoni have a part in this show?
I don't think officially he does, but I'm sure he is
They're using him as like
somewhere up
a
there.
story wizard.
Maybe. I mean, Deborah Chow is the showrunner,
Yeah, and
and
she's
she worked
knowledgeable.
with Filoni
Yeah.
in Mandalorian, so I
Yep.
assume he's surely a consultant in everything they do.
Yeah. Yeah.
Indira Varma, sorry, she was
Yep.
in Game of Thrones. She was
Game of
the
Thrones, Sand Snake lady.
the Sand Snake lady. She was great.
Yeah. She was the
O'Shea
mother of the
Jackson,
Sand Snakes.
yeah, she was. I remember her death was so brutal in that show. That shit gave me nightmares.
Yes. Well, it was the memorable thing from her acting in that show for me was the scream that she did when Oberyn died.
Yes. Oh yes, yes.
His head's
That was a
popped
big
like a
one.
melon, and of course now he's on Mandalorian.
He's the Mando.
That almost happened to him again with the fucking the
Yeah,
shadow troopers, but she
yeah,
he had the helmet on.
yeah. We get Rupert Friend, which I don't recognize this
He
person.
was in Homeland.
Oh, okay.
He did a really good job in that show, and I've only ever seen him in that as far as I know, but he was somebody who stuck out to me as like a very good actor, and I really liked his role. He played this badass. So yeah, it'll be exciting to see what he is in this.
Cool. O'Shea Jackson Jr., who's Ice Cube Jr.
I have no
Um,
idea who he is.
he's the son of Ice Cube. Remember him?
Is it
Yeah.
really?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, no, he was in. He played Ice Cube in Straight Outta Compton.
Oh, okay.
Because he looks pretty similar to his dad.
Yeah,
And he's in it. I don't know what's up with that. He was
yeah.
great also in Ingrid Goes West. If anyone's ever seen that.
Mm.
Sung Kang, who played Han in the Fast and Furious Tokyo Drift.
Han's back in the new one.
Han's alive.
Everyone besides Paul Walker comes back.
Oh God, fuck.
Sorry to get dark.
You had to go there, didn't you? Fuck. Because they revived him also in the Fast and Furious.
Yeah.
Han, I mean not Paul Walker. Well, they did that too, but that, which is great. He was like a character that popped in that franchise, even when that franchise wasn't that big yet.
Yeah.
Simon Kessel, I don't really
Simone
recognize
Kessel.
her. Simone,
yeah. I don't know her,
but she has the right last name, Kessel, I guess.
That we got Kessel Run. We got a guy who played Han. There's a lot of good Star Wars.
A lot of cred. And Benny Safdie, who's like another sort
he
of
looks
unknown
so familiar, but I
actor.
don't
Apparently,
know.
he was in Uncut Gems.
Was he?
Yeah.
Huh.
I don't know. I'm not. I haven't seen that, so I don't know who he played.
Oh, that was a good movie.
Yeah, I don't know. I have heard. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
but so we get this casting announcement. To me, the first four are the ones that matter the most. Yeah. Ewan, Hayden, Joel, and Bunny. And I feel like Moses, the fact that she gets brought into that makes she probably is like second lead or something.
Yeah.
Like right under Vader, maybe.
Yeah.
We have speculated that they might have like a Vader and Obi-Wan might have like a like a mind melding situation going on.
I just hope to God whatever fight they have is not real, at least in the physical realm.
Did you see that some TikToker like leaked videos from the set of Kenobi?
No.
Yeah, there was like somebody in TikTok was like, here are like a bunch of videos from the set.
And was it just like, stuff on Tatooine?
Yeah, it was just Tatooine. It was I think it looked like Mos Eisley or something. But yeah, it was just basically Tatooine homesteads and shit like that.
I'm just trying to stay away from leaks. I've ruined too many things for myself by looking at all the leaks.
Well, sorry. Spoiler alert, Tatooine is in the
well, I think that was a given, so
in the show. But also makes me think like this whole casting announcement. We have Uncle Owen and Aunt Beru. We must get a a young Luke.
Young Luke. Yeah.
So this is 10 years after Revenge of the Sith. So he must be 10 at this point. We
Hmm.
must get a 10-year-old. Well, it's probably going to be the same age that Anakin was in Phantom Menace, around,
Yeah.
which will be sick. But yeah, very exciting.
They
I'm
said
really
it was
excited.
10 years.
Yeah, 10 years.
I was, for some reason, I was thinking it was 5.
No, no, no. They
Okay.
said. I mean, when they originally announced it, they said 8, but now they say 10.
Okay.
So they made that little
You
clarification.
know, the funny thing about just Star Wars and people who live on Tatooine, it's like for some reason, I guess just because of the heat and the two suns, everyone looks so much older. Who are supposed to
Yeah.
be like middle aged. So
Well, I think Obi-Wan is supposed to be like 59 by the time of A New Hope or something
that's
like that.
insane.
Yeah. And he looks like 120. But I think the biggest like the biggest acting challenge, or I guess the most fun of it, is going to be seeing Hugh McGregor trying to emulate Alec Guinness even more.
Yeah.
Like meet him somewhere in the middle, like doing even the voice a little bit more.
But I just know, like we know, Ewan McGregor is going to do such an amazing job that it's like a non-factor for me. I'm just like I'm excited to see that. But for me, the biggest thing that I'm looking forward to is how Hayden is going to handle
Mm.
Vader in this show compared to the prequels, and just having a different style of show compared to the prequels and George Lucas and all that, to see how they make this show compared to the prequels and how it handles Anakin. And this is such a crazy time that we haven't really seen him in the timeline. And I'm wondering, are they going to do flashbacks where he's normal Anakin? And are we going to see him under the mask somehow? Like maybe he takes off
Yeah,
the suit to be in a back to tank or something. Like there's just so much room for possibilities, and it's exciting to see him take on the role again because he got a lot
so cool.
of backlash for his role when it wasn't really his fault. I thought he did a great job with what he had, but he got a lot of hate for it.
No, it does make me think, if they bring Hayden just to put him in a mask, like they must have either flashbacks or scenes where he's like without the helmet. I'm thinking like the meditation chamber, maybe
Yeah,
like
that's what I was saying. Yeah,
going with that theory that they are like mind
yeah.
connecting, like maybe he's in the meditation
I hope
chamber.
it's both because
Yeah,
some of the
me
favorite
too.
things for me in the prequels was the buddiness of
Hmm.
Obi-Wan and Anakin. So I hope
Hmm.
to see more of that.
And I hope we get live action Ahsoka in the Clone Wars era. That would be
Yeah.
sick as well.
Yep. To see them together in this show would be awesome.
Yeah, yeah. So we also got rather the trailer for the Bad Batch, which is the follow up spin off of the Clone Wars.
Hmm.
The Bad Batch got introduced in season 7. It was like the first arc, the first 4 episodes, and I always wondered. It's weird that at the end of that episode, that arc, spoilers for the ones who haven't seen it, Echo, like the one of the clones, uh, becomes a part of the Bad Batch, and I always thought it was weird in the sense that what are they the show is about to end, like what are they setting up,
Yeah.
like why are they setting up more story if the show is about to end? And then we later found out it's because they have their own spin-off. So the trailer came out. The first thing we see is Tarkin like giving the Bad Batch a little test
Hmm.
in Camino, and of course they all go through it really easily. Um, but then we also, the weird thing, the part that we hadn't seen in the previous trailer, was that there's a kid in the show,
Yeah.
and this kid kind of recognizes the crew, and it looks like he might be a clone.
Yeah, I think he's a clone of a different variant. He's not a Jango Fett clone.
So who is he a clone of?
I have no idea. Maybe they were testing with other things, and he
Palpatine.
was like a defunct clone version. That would be cool. That would actually be really interesting because then it would tie into the sequels and give more backstory into that.
Right. That's what, like, I saw somebody mention it online, and I was like,
That's a very good theory.
that seems like one of those dumb things originally when you think about it, like, oh, that's like Snowy's Plagueis type thing.
Yeah.
But then when you think about it, it's like, wait, actually, It might be Palpatine.
Mm.
Why couldn't it be Palpatine? But imagine seeing like little baby Palpatine going around.
It would be eerie because it's like this innocent kid and it's not actually him, but it's the same person essentially.
Maybe it's Ray's father.
Oh God.
You see, now it's all connected.
Yep.
It's all making sense. Well, we gotta do the math. When would Ray's father be like? Well, it's probably not him. But yeah. So we got a kid in the mix. I don't know. I think that's one of. But it's gonna be one of those things where the fans are gonna be sort of reticent. They always hate when it gets kiddie. Like
Yeah.
they didn't like Anakin, young Anakin. Ahsoka at the beginning was not liked. Jar Jar isn't liked.
I just don't
Yeah,
want another
Ezra.
early episode type thing where it was like Rebels in the beginning. Like season 1 especially was super kiddie and it was hard
I
to get
fuck with
through.
it.
Like I tried to get a couple friends to watch Rebels and they couldn't get through it because of the kiddiness. And I was just like, oh, there's so many amazing moments. And like, oh, well, I could just YouTube it. And I was like, well, but then it doesn't, you don't feel that connection or
Mm-hmm.
really care about what's going on. You know, you're just looking at the major story beats and be like, okay. But this show in general for me is interesting because when I first heard the announcement about it, I just didn't really care much at all for it because I was just thinking of their episode arc during the Clone Wars, and I was just like, well, it's going to be more of this shit. They just run around and shoot droids. It's boring. But the interesting thing for me is that it's post Order 66, and we get to see not
Yeah.
only what happens to them, but the transition of the clones to the stormtroopers, probably, and how the Empire handled itself in the beginning moments of totalitarianism.
Yeah, and it looks from the trailer that the Bad Batch didn't fuck with the Empire. Like they're on their
Yeah,
own. Tarkin like it names them enemies of the state, I guess.
I'm
Uh,
feeling like if I can make a prediction, I'm gonna say they're gonna be tasked to like hunt down hidden Jedi, and then
hmm.
they're just gonna end up like you know going against the Empire.
Or maybe they have to go kill younglings. That'd be
More
fucked.
younglings.
And then they're going on a mission, a la how the Mandalorian went to get Baby Yoda,
Yeah,
and he doesn't know what they don't know what it's about, and then they
maybe
find out
they're
they
hunting more Inquisitors or something. People.
Inquisitors. What?
Well, I'm saying like Padawans to make Inquisitors.
Oh, I see. I
Yeah,
see. Oh, that'd be cool.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah. We also know Fennec Shand is in it, who is played by Ming Na Wen, and she
Yeah.
was also in Mando in both season
She's a
one
cool
and two.
character. It'll be cool to see more of her backstory, especially because she's going to be in the Boba Fett show.
Yeah, and we got so little of her in. Well, we got a decent amount, but like it'd be cool to see her during that era. I assume also if we're gonna introduce her, we might see Boba Fett because I remember there was a an unproduced arc of the Clone Wars due to its
Yeah.
cancellation, where Boba Fett and Cat Bane have a showdown,
Mm-hmm.
and in that showdown, Boba Fett was already wearing Jango Fett's armor,
Yep.
and that's how he got the
The
dent
dent in his helmet. Yep.
in the helmet. And I don't know whether or not Cat Bane was supposed to survive that encounter,
I'm pretty
but
sure he was supposed to be dead, and that was like what made Boba Fett sort of like legendary.
right. That's why I wonder about that. Like I would love to see Cat Bane again because he was such a cool character.
I
And
hope they make that unproduced episode part of this show because I obviously I'm obsessed with Boba Fett, but like just to see that get made would be really interesting because that's such a huge moment for Boba Fett for his
yeah,
backstory as a up and coming bounty hunter.
yeah, and Cat Bane was always a bounty hunter that for me popped during the Clone Wars. And
Yeah,
if I'm not mistaken, we haven't seen him since like season 4 of Clone Wars.
it's been a while. Yeah,
Yeah. So I want to see some closure on that.
yeah,
We also see Saw Gerrera in the mix, so now this is one thing. Another thing that I thought was weird they were setting up in the
Rebels.
final season of Clone Wars,
Oh,
where Anakin and Obi-Wan are in the middle of the fight, and they get like a coded message from Fulcrum, and the
yeah.
first thing they think it's like, oh, so it's Saw Gerrera. Maybe the siege at Alderaan has taken a turn for the worst. Uh, And now I see why they did that little nod to. So at first I just thought it was like, oh, they're doing a Easter egg, but now I see they're setting up the Bad Batch. They're setting the siege of Onderon having a turn for the worst,
Yeah.
and that's really cool. And you can sort of see Saw Gerrera turning more into Forrest Whitaker. This version of Saw,
Mm-hmm.
with like the scar in his head, and he's probably going to be a little bit more unhinged.
Oh,
Lies.
got it. We know the truth.
Yeah, but I love that because Saw Gerrera is like the original rebel,
Yeah.
and of course the Bad Batch is rebelling in this. Um, but I know we also get a little glimpse of Captain Rex,
Mm-hmm. That's
which
what
is
I'm
pretty
excited
sick.
for. Is like more Rex. I really like Rex.
I also assume we'll probably get maybe a little bit of Ahsoka. If we're gonna get Rex, I assume we might get like Ahsoka might be like a friend along the way that helps them escape or something like that.
That'd be cool, and it'd be cool to have Ashley Eckstein back.
Yeah, and if you remember in the last season of Clone Wars too, they set up as well the idea that Ahsoka will go back, and I know you're gonna hate this, but that Ahsoka will go back to the Martez sisters
Oh God.
because she like tells she makes a point of leaving her bike with them,
Yeah.
and she's like, "I'll be back for this." So I assume like that's gonna be the pit stop. Is gonna be.
If they do it, I hope it's less than an episode.
It's gonna be 4 episodes.
That was such a horrible arc, especially for such a good final season, to have
It was okay,
four
dude.
four episodes
Don't
of
hate.
them going out making dumbass fucking decisions, getting captured, escaping, getting captured,
The
escaping.
dumbest
It
thing
was
was the sister
oh,
who
it's so
dumped the
repetitive.
spice.
They're so dumb.
The sisters who dumped the spice. That was dumb.
Yeah,
That wasn't
I
like
hate them so
that
much.
was unearned. Uh,
Absolutely hate them.
but I thought it was fun. Yay, it was
It would
fun.
have been fun if you didn't have to wait weeks for the whole season. If it all
Yeah,
came out at once, I'd be like, okay,
yeah. Speaking of that, we don't know how many episodes are going to be in the Bad Batch or the
yeah.
season
How
one,
long these
or how
shows?
many seasons or anything. We do know that the pilot or the premiere is going to be a 70-minute long episode.
Mm-hmm.
So that's going to be similar to how the Clone Wars started with a movie, pilot movie. I guess this one is going to start with like a cool special.
And Kenobi is only supposed to be one season, right?
Yeah, yeah, and I think they're talking about 6 episodes.
I hope they
It's
do
probably going to
more.
be. I really hope they don't,
I
because
mean, you don't
it's a
want them to
self-contained.
overkill it. Like
Yeah,
you want the story to be important and them to conclude it and
yeah, exactly.
not just do it for the sake of doing it. But there's so many stories to tell.
I don't think there is. That's the thing. I think they would start making shit up, have him leave the planet and do other shit, and I'm like, no, you're
Yeah,
just
no,
making shit up
I
now.
get that. I get it.
You know,
I
and
just
I
love Ewan McGregor and Hayden Christensen, and to see them back in this, like I just want more and more. It's like a drug.
yeah, I know, but the fact that it's gonna be like a special event, it's what's makes it special for me,
Yeah.
and it's gonna be a great bridge between trilogies.
Yep.
Like if you think about it, you can watch the prequels, and then you'll be able to watch like the Kenobi show, Solo, Rogue One, and A New Hope is gonna feel like the Avengers, where like everything comes
Right. Yeah.
together,
Yeah.
all the storylines like converge in the single movie. So
So,
yeah.
out of all of the new shows, now that
Mhm.
we have a little bit more backstory, what are you most looking forward to, and what is like your least interesting or least favorite that is coming out?
Out of all of them, not just the
Yeah.
two we've talked. Okay,
Yeah.
um, the one that I'm least interested in is probably the well. It's not fair because it's probably for a younger audience, but the droids one.
Oh yeah. I don't even count that.
That's a yeah, exactly. That's my point. If we don't count it,
I remember having it was actual like VHS standalone cartoon Star Wars droids back when I was a kid.
mm-hmm.
Like it
they
was like a
just
standalone movie.
they just put it on Disney Plus.
Did they?
Yeah, they put that. They put the
I
micro
saw they put the
series.
Ewok movies and the Clone Wars original one,
Yes.
and they put the animation from the Star Wars holiday special, which was obviously the best part in it because it introduced
Yeah,
Boba Fett and everything.
and they put in the droids TV shows. I think
Wow.
either they put it in or they're about to, but
Okay.
it's all on like the Star Wars vintage.
That's such a
Banner.
throwback for me. I got to check that out.
Yeah, I know, right? It's crazy. I don't know how they like because them being so picky about canon and shit.
Yeah.
I like that they're embracing the other
Yeah.
stories, even though they're not canon.
hmm
But
Well, I mean, they have all the Lego Star Wars shit on there too, so like that's
yeah, true.
nothing, you know.
After all, it's all like it's kind of like a fun artifact.
Just an expanded universe thing, you
Yeah.
know.
No, but so of like the ones that we take seriously,
Yes.
maybe the show that I'm least excited about, it would have been the Bad Batch, but now that Gina Carano is no longer around, I do think the storytelling of the Rangers of the New Republic is probably gonna suffer because of it,
I was gonna say the exact same thing.
and it's a bummer because they were setting her up with the whole thing of Alderaan and
Yeah.
them talking about how she lost everything, and it was such a perfect little tease for that
Yep.
show.
Yeah, regardless of what anybody thinks of Gina Carano and the whole controversy, yada yada, her character had a lot of interesting stuff to be explored,
Hmm.
and that was the show for it. So now that we're not going to get her character at all, it's just kind of a shame.
Shame. And I would have even been okay with recast. I just think the
I wouldn't.
characters I would have been. I think the characters are bigger than the actors. Um, Especially Star Wars. I mean, Star Wars has done like Obi-Wan has been played by two people, Han Solo as well. And you always think the
But that's
actor
such a
is
huge time jump. If they did like a young Cara
no,
Dune,
I get that.
maybe, but
I
like
get that.
like
But
obviously he's not as iconic as Obi-Wan or Anakin or something,
just
but
put in
like
Don Cheadle and you're fine.
Don Cheadle
he's
as
the he's
Cara Dune.
he's the guy
He
you
looks a
get
little
for
different.
he's that's the guy you get for recasting.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, just get Don Cheadle and you're. But
Well,
no, so
that's what
I like
Space
that
Jam
character.
2 did, and there's just a giant digital Don Cheadle head, and it's fucking that trailer pissed me off. It looks fucking terrible.
I haven't
It's
seen that.
basically Ready Player One, but Looney Tunes and Space Jam. It's garbage.
I haven't seen that. But
Garbage.
I don't know. I don't know what you were expecting out of Space Jam.
I don't want to see that movie anymore. Hey, I love the first Space Jam.
All right. Well, that's you. It's on you. All right. Well, what do you guys think? What is your most anticipated show out of the Disney Plus new slate of shows and movies and everything? Please let us know because right now we're getting some really juicy stuff and it's all like about to start. April was starting with the filming of Kenobi, and then with the Bad Batch made the fourth.
And
We
there's gonna
should
be a lot
probably
of new extra stuff with Star Wars Celebration too, right? Or are they not? Are they
well,
still not doing it this year?
I'm not sure. I'm not
Huh.
sure to be honest.
Let's look into that.
Um, but so when the Bad Batch comes out, we'll surely be talking about it. So please stay tuned if you want to have our take on it and if you want to contribute to the conversation. So please, guys, let us know. And of course, as always, may the force be with you.
Always.
Dank Farrik.